What the going on this team, Jerry?
Bury him! Bury him!
Jerry, TJ Watt.
He is the best defensive player on the planet.
Go! Yes! Yes! We're going to fire! Steelers fans! Bang! Run it down their throat!
No! That's not a penalty!
Game over! Game over! Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
He's aggressive.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime jersey, Jerry. Jerry Don, it is week 13 of the NFL season. Can't even believe we're already 3/4 of the way through this thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers sit at 8-3. We have a big game heading out to Cincinnati. You can't lose 2 in a row in the division. Jerry Don, what is your outlook on the Pittsburgh Steelers going into this game?
Tough to say. I'm gonna lean that they're gonna bounce back here. The thing is, they can go. This is the part of the season where they're gonna go one way or the other. They can go left or they can go right.
Yep.
If they go left, they could drop a bunch of games, give up, and end the season with 9-10 wins. Make it into the playoffs, have a road game, and get smoked. You go the other way, you go right, you could fucking beat the Bengals. You make us another statement against the Browns. So, you're already at fucking 10-3. And then somehow, some way, you upset a Chiefs team or an Eagles team. You're sitting pretty. You're looking at the division with a home playoff game, most likely. So they got 2 options here. And I would lean that they're going to go right, man. I would lean that they're going to bounce back. Just by the, we follow a bunch of guys, and we talk to some guys regularly. Well, you know what? But what I'm seeing is like, people pissed off. I think a lot of players are pretty pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
So just by their interactions through social media, seeing what they're, posting on Instagram and whatnot. So I think the team is pissed off. I know, I obviously everybody hates losing and whatnot, but like we said in the beginning of the year, something's just different, man. It feels like something's different. And I know last game sucked. It did. But I feel like they're going to bounce back. I really do. There's a part of me that's just not willing to just give up yet. We're fucking 8-3. And, there's a lot of fans and media personalities just saying the Steelers are frauds and whatnot. I don't believe that. Not yet.
I mean, frauds to me is just ridiculous to say at this point. Jerry, they've beat 5 teams. They're 5-0 against teams that are currently in the playoffs. 5-0. They're undefeated against teams currently in the playoffs, both NFC and AFC. You can't say that that's a fraud football team. Okay, now granted, it's different beating teams in September, October, and November than it is to beat them in January. But to prove that you can beat those teams in the regular season is half the battle. They're definitely not frauds. And sitting at 8-3, regardless of how the last game went in Cleveland, which was brutal. It was a heartbreaker. We were furious about it. You know, it took me several days to get over that loss. I was very pissed off about it. But at 8-3, Jerry, when we go back through our schedule predictions at the beginning of the season, we both would have loved to be 8-3 at that point in the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why, like, I'm not willing to give up yet. And I will say this, just on the record, like, there is 100% in that locker room, no doubt, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Yes.
There's people in the media saying could be a quarterback change, this, that, and the third. There is zero chance that happens. The only way that happens is if Russell Wilson gets hurt. That's number one. Justin Fields will be the starter. Or if Russell Wilson loses 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row.
Even then, it's just not. It's not going to happen. We're not going to lose 4 or 5 games in a row. Look,
I don't believe that either.
The sky is not falling.
There's no controversy whatsoever. And, a lot of teams, not a lot of teams, but a lot of people I've also seen, Kev, like talk about how Russell Wilson is to blame. There's a lot of people to blame. There's a lot. There's coaching. There's offensive line. There's not having a fucking wide receiver too.
Mm-hmm.
There's not using Pat Freiermuth as much.
Yep.
Like bad play calls at times. So there's a lot of blame to go around. This isn't just because Russell Wilson took a couple sacks. And yes, I'm the number 1 Russie rider. Obviously, I'm a little biased. But to put this on Russ. This guy's throwing for like 250 a game.
It's insane. It's not Russell Wilson's fault. It's also not George Pickens' fault. I was listening to 93.7 The Fan on Monday, and then again this morning. I listened to it. I know a lot of people don't like Pony. They don't like The Fan. They think it's all shock jock stuff. I think a lot of the stuff that they talk about is relevant, and it's good, and it's entertaining conversation. But to blame George Pickens, or to say that George Pickens was the problem, do I wish George Pickens gave a little more effort on the Hail Mary? Yes. He also got dragged out of bounds through the end zone on the Hail Mary. People are blaming him for not catching that moon ball that Fields throws on the left sideline, on 3rd and 4, that I didn't love the play call, but they're saying he could have adjusted and caught the ball. Of course, yeah, you can always critique a player in those instances, but you're not blaming him for the loss, and you're not blaming Russell Wilson for the loss. If you're really going to put the majority of the blame, it falls at Mike Tomlin's lap and Arthur Smith's lap. I don't think either of them coached their best games. Honestly, I think it was the worst coached game of Arthur Smith's season. Now, granted, we couldn't pick up a 3rd and short. We couldn't pick up a 4th and short. I don't know if you watched the Ravens game the other night, but you see how the Ravens inside their own 15-yard line, 16-yard line, somewhere around there, early in the game against the Chargers, they called the timeout. You and I just talked about this last night. They called the timeout.
Whoa,
I know. Listen, but so they come back onto the field, and what's the play that they call? They call a play with Mark Andrews under center. You think the Steelers couldn't run that type of thing with someone like Darnell Washington? They're going to have to get a little more creative with these 3rd and 4th and shorts. But again, it's the play calling, Jerry. I went back
people
and
who are a little confused right now.
Yeah.
Why I abruptly stopped that was I talked to Arthur Smith, and I gave him a play on 4th and short that you might see this season. He was very Kevin, we had this discussion, me and you, last night. He said to me that was a great idea for a play. A great idea for a play. And he asked me what personnel should be on the field, in my opinion, for that. I told him my opinion. Now, is he going to take my opinion? I don't know. We'll see. He's the coach. I'm not the coach. But, we're friendly. He's a good guy. And maybe he'll take JJ's play. We'll see. But when he does it, we'll announce it if he does it.
Right.
Granted, he's probably not going to do it. Why would he take some random guy's
It's
advice?
a great suggestion, though. It is a phenomenal suggestion.
Very fun play. Very fun play. I don't know if he'll. Do you think it'll happen or not?
Jerry, I do, because it's a
Really?
Yes, and I thought about it all morning this morning too. It's a tendency league, and so when teams show tendencies, a play like that Jerry had given him would work. I mean, it would absolutely work. And so
I think it would too. I just don't. I don't see. I don't know, Kev. I don't see what just happened.
oh wow, you're losing light in there, Jerry Don. You're going pitch black in there now, buddy.
Hold on. What the fuck is going on? Stay with me, Kev. Stay with me.
I'm with you. I mean, it's black. Curtains are falling, buddy.
So, Kev, if the play does happen, we'll obviously announce it.
Right.
But we can't give that information up yet.
No, right. And we might even have to text about what the play was so that we have the timestamps that prove what we were talking about in advance.
Yeah.
But you go back and you look at some of the other play calls that they had. I didn't love the play calling, honestly, Jerry. I went back, I watched the game on not Friday morning, I rewatched it back Saturday, and I logged every single snap from that game. And here's what I came up with. And it is horrifying. If you exclude the Hail Mary final drive, where they're obviously going to pass, and you exclude the final drive that they had at the end of the first half, where there's only 40 seconds left and they're obviously going to pass. So take those two drives out of these statistics.
Well, teams know you're going to pass in that situation. Anyway,
Exactly. So you can exclude those. It's irrelevant. Yeah. The Steelers ran the ball 17 out of 21 times on first down. 17 out of 21 times, 81% of the time.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That is, I mean, you're not helping your offense. You're not helping your offense. You're not helping your offensive line. You're not helping your backs. If some idiot can get high and watch the game back and realize that. And so then people are chirping me on Twitter. They're like, oh, well, it was a snow game. Of course that's to be. Two things about that. I went back and watched the Commanders game. It was still 74% of the time. I went back, watched the Ravens game, still 75% of the time. On first down, the Pittsburgh Steelers are running the ball 3 out of 4 times, no doubt about it. But then you look at second down. All right, second down, they ran the ball 11 out of 19 times. Overall, they ran the ball on first or second down 28 out of 40 times, Jerry. I mean,
Yeah, that's
you're not that's predictable. I get it. You can say that it was a snow game. Russ played great given the conditions of the snow. I mean, he had a perfect passer rating in the fourth quarter. On third and fourth down, he had a perfect passer rating. I mean, you can't take it away from him. Even though it was the snow, Russ is not why they lost. It's why you open with Russ as the quarterback. Absolutely anybody arguing that is an idiot at this point. But you're going to have the Steelers, and this would be a perfect weekend for it. They're going to have to open up spreading the ball, run out of spread options, run out of spread looks, lighten up the boxes, lighten up the defensive looks that you're going to have to block against. Spread them out. Let Russ cook. I think after 5-6 starts now, he has a very good handle on the offense.
That's the thing, Kev. That's the thing. I said it a couple weeks ago. I said it last week. They just got to let him go. Listen. You're going to get a couple downs where he takes a bad sack.
Yeah,
I get that.
That's fine. I can live with it.
Obviously, he's older in his career. He's not as mobile as he used to be. Is he a little bit mobile? Yeah, sure. He's not the most mobile, but he can escape some sacks.
More mobile than Ben at the end of the career, so I'm fine with it right now.
When the ball's in his hands, he makes really good plays.
Yeah,
he really does.
agreed.
And the fumble was a big problem. I will say that. I would love for him to hang on to that fucking ball there. That fucking sucks.
That's also a good play by Myles Garrett. I mean, it's a good play by Myles Garrett. That's just active hands as he's coming through the pocket. Can't take that away.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, what has he had on the year? I mean, he's had one pick or two picks?
I think he has one interception. One interception, one fumble, I think.
Oh, one fumble? Yeah, I mean, he's not airless.
No.
You know what I mean? So I would like to see the Steelers throw the ball 55% of the time, 60% of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I would like.
I think it's just because we're going to end up having to see it. The game against the Browns was another one of those evidences where if they get down big, can they come back? Now, they did come back. Granted, you have the strip sack by Herbig, and so that gives them the ball in a very short field. They come back. Browns defense is not very good. They come back. They take a lead. Defense lets them down. But the Bengals game this weekend, Jerry, I won't even lie to you. It scares the shit out of me. That offense is fucking elite. It scares the shit out of me this weekend. And if you're a Steelers fan and you're incredibly confident going into this game,
crazy.
You're smoking something I don't have access to, because this will be, to me, the most lethal passing offense we will have played. Now, you caught rookie Jaden Daniels. They pretty much snuffed him out, I would say, for the most part. And you got who we own in Lamar Jackson from a passing standpoint. But how many elite passing offenses have we played? You got Herbert when he's early hurt in the season. You have Kirk Cousins' first game of the season. So this is really starting to be, the Bengals are a high-flying offense. The Steelers' defense is going to have to be up for this game, and I'm worried about it. Because if the defense can't get it going, the offense is going to have to score points.
I'll tell you what, Joey Porter better have the game of his life, because if he doesn't, this thing could get ugly really, really fast.
Yep.
Really fast. I would guess the Steelers are going to try to take Jamar out the game. Their best. Obviously, you can't really take him out the game completely, but I would guess their main focal point is to shadow him, have double teams on him all the time. That would be my guess. So if they can do a good job of trying to take him out the game, we could win this game for sure, no doubt about it. If they let him run around that field, catch the ball in open space, we're dead.
I just think if their game plan is go on, let's beat them with defense this week and running the ball, that's where you're going to lose. You're going to have to see the Steelers come out and legitimately sling the ball all over the field, because the Bengals defense sucks. The Bengals, let's just get into the stats, Jerry. Defensively, the Steelers are 9th overall in yards. They give up a game at 305. The Bengals are 22nd in yards given up per game at 355. They give up 27th most points per game at they give up 27 points per game. The Steelers are 6th or 4th rather, and we give up 16.9. So, their defense is terrible. They're near the bottoms of the league. You're going to have to eventually start scheming for that. I get it. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers want to win a certain brand of football. Bring it in, tighten it up, muck it up, run the ball, keep it a one-score game and win it at the end. I don't think that's how you can beat this football team. I don't think that's how you can beat teams like the Bills either. Teams that you're going to probably have to see later in the season. The Chiefs even. The Chiefs, while they almost lost to the Panthers, they still squeaked that fucker out at the end. You're going to have to start opening up the offense and spreading the ball around through the air and letting Russell cook. I really think that if they want to get to where they want to go this last 6 weeks of the season, that's what it's going to have to be.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, they just got to get more creative in the red zone, man. Just get more creative in the red zone. Clearly, whatever they're doing is not working out. It's been a really bad red zone offense.
Agreed.
They have to find ways to get more creative, If they can do that and they can – and the thing is this, Kevin, they refuse. Kevin, I feel like this is the last – I don't know. We've been friends for what now, 4 or 5 years?
Yep.
I mean, we've been talking about this for 5 years. I mean – they just refuse to start fast.
Yep.
These last 5 years that we're like been friendly and friends, like we've talked about this year after year. They just refuse to start games fast.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck it is, but they just don't start fast ever. And there's games like this where it comes back to haunt you in the end.
Yep. Yep.
So they gotta find a way to score a touchdown or two in the fucking first half. Dude, they have to.
I'm not even I want to see them score on the opening drive. You know, the last time the Steelers scored a touchdown opening drive was against the Bengals last year, whenever it was Mason Rudolph first start. Kenny's hurt. Mason comes in, he hits George Pickens.
And before that, there was a major drought.
Long law before that point. Yeah. And so, that's the problem. And you have to think, who's that fall on? Does that fall on the coaching staff? Usually, the opening drive is when you have it's scripted. It's your best plays. It's what you think you can move the ball with the easiest.
I know. I feel like the Steelers play their best football in the third quarter of games.
They do. They're a second half team so far this year, but unfortunately, I'm tired of having to be that. You're going to have to start fast, and it's going to have to happen this weekend. And another thing that's going to help them starting fast, Jerry, they're going to really have to start getting the ball more to Pat Freiermuth. I mean, he is the only other legitimate pass catching weapon. You could say Calvin Austin. He's coming on again. He is really coming on strong. I'll give Calvin Austin his flowers, but it's Pat Freiermuth, man. You have got to keep passing that guy the football.
On that one play, Russ didn't see him.
He just didn't see him. He took the short pass to Darnell Washington, and he had Freiermuth wide ass touchdown wide open.
Easy, yeah.
And so that's going to be a big thing for me. But I saw a lot of people saying, Arthur Smith might take the UNC job after this season.
Crazy.
And I read the comments, and people are like, oh, would love to get him out of town. Like, man, the Steelers are 15th overall offense. They're the 15th overall offense, 14th in scoring at 23 points per game.
Kevin, people are crazy.
What do you guys want, man? It's not like we have.
I mean, this is the best offensive. No, this is the best offensive coordinator we've had in years.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have elite personnel on the offensive side of the ball. I think we have enough weapons to compete, but I don't think we have you have George Pickens. You don't have another elite weapon outside of George Pickens. You have a good tight end, but we hardly use them.
He's doing all this without a wide receiver too.
That's my point, man. That's my point. If you can get to 14th in scoring, we said it at the beginning of the year, Jerry. We said if the Steelers can somehow get into the top 15 offenses, they're gonna have a very good season. They're going to be a good team. So anybody calling for Arthur Smith's head at this point, you got to reel it back in, man. I mean, you got to reel it back in.
They have a young offensive line. I mean, especially that right side of the line. They got McCormick and Broderick and Zach Frazier.
Yep.
I know Siamalu's not, young, and Dan Moore's not super young, but they're very young on the offensive side, especially that right side. So, who knows next year, Fatu coming back, that's going to be big, I think, for us. Big time.
Agreed.
The offensive line, in our losses, the offensive line has struggled.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. The games that we have lost, the O-line could not pick up short yardages. The Steelers couldn't get third or fourth downs.
Yes.
That's exactly where it falls. It's, the defense then had some of their worst games of the season. That's just how it's going to be. You're going to lose football games. I've come back down to reality after watching all of those games Sunday. Friday when we record, obviously, I'm ready to fucking punch a hole in the wall. But then you watch the Chiefs almost lose to the Panthers. You watch the Cowboys. They beat the Commanders in a divisional game. What a fucking back and forth game that was. You see all of these teams in much closer games than it feels like they should be in divisional games, and you realize that's just how the league is, man. You can't end the Steelers season because they lose to the Browns on Thursday night on the road, where they were 0-7 in divisional games on the road up to that point.
Yeah.
That's a hard fucking game to have to win.
Kev, the way I look at it is this. The Steelers are, I'd say, in 11 full games, they are one play in the Cowboys game.
Yep, agreed.
Probably 2 or 3 plays in the Browns game, so that's what? 2 + 1 = what?
3.
And I'd say a bad first quarter against the Colts.
Even against the Colts, Jerry, think about this. They have the ball with the ability to win the game, and they're marching.
Yes.
The bad snap or the snap
Yeah,
confusion
that's true.
hits Fields in the helmet. They could have won that game.
So they're let's just say they're a total of probably 6 or 7 plays away from being undefeated.
Right.
And when you look at it like that,
Right.
it's pretty crazy, So it's not as bad as people fucking really think it is.
No.
Now, granted, I was pissed off really bad about the Browns game, and there was doubts running through my mind about this team if they're really real or we're just overhyping them a bit.
Yep.
But then I look at all the games we played, and we're only a couple plays away from being undefeated.
Right. And even in the elements.
It's not like we've got blown out. It's not like we've looked terrible to the point where it's unwatchable.
Right.
It's just, sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and you're going to have losses any given Sunday in the NFL. They're an 8-3 football team. They have a good defense. They have an offense that has shown flashes that they can really put up points. So They have to get back to business on Sunday.
And a stat that goes our way for Sunday, Jerry, is so we say they're 0-7 on Thursday nights, then they lose. They go to 0-8 on Thursday night divisional games. Okay, how about this one? In the past 10 years, the Steelers have played 29 divisional games, okay? It comes out to, or they have not lost back-to-back divisional road games out of 29 chances where they've lost one, could have lost a second one, have not done it more than one time. So they don't lose back-to-back divisional road games. And I'm not saying back-to-back weeks. I'm saying, okay, they lose to the Browns and they play a few games, and their next divisional road game, they don't lose back-to-back road games. So Mike Tomlin, for whatever it is, he gets it corrected. He gets it figured out. They do not lose back-to-back road games. That's a very, 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 very big statistic that goes the Steelers' way. And so you have to think it comes back to the prep. Who's to say that the game in the snow doesn't hurt them? You didn't mention the Cowboys loss, but that's like a 2-hour rain delay with the lightning. So it's not as though things haven't gone their way. Now, other teams had overcome it. The Steelers obviously couldn't overcome the weather in a couple of those events, but they're not a bad football team. They're right on the cusp of being 11-0, like you're saying. So I think as we reeled it back in, I'm still all aboard. I'm still thinking that this is Super Bowl or bust type of football team based on the defense. And the big thing is people want to bitch about, their red zone offense sucks. That's half the battle, is just getting there, Jerry. You have to get to the red zone before you can be a bad red zone football team.
And they get there a lot, dude. They get there a lot.
That's where it just has to be a little bit more creative in the red zone, a little bit more risk taking. Let's not just get in there and then bring in heavy personnel and just fucking pound the ball on the ground. Let Russ spread it around. Let Russ spread them out, run out of spread formations at that point. I think that's what you're going to have to see the second half of this season.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. What I'm most excited about is to see how TJ Watt responds.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a guy who is humble as ever, never takes a bunch of credit, always team first guy, no drama ever in a locker room whatsoever. We're going to have to see how he responds, because damn well he heard all those comments. You know damn well he sees what people are saying in the media. So I'm very excited to see what type of TJ Watt we're going to get on Sunday. I think it's going to be a very, very good one.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Also, I don't know what the story is, because Kaboli's saying that TJ Watt might not want to move all over. And then you have Tomlin saying that, we're going to have to put him in different spots and whatnot. So I don't know what is what, but they're going to have to figure out a way to get him in the backfield more consistently, because teams, obviously most of our losses and even some of our wins, what the teams are doing is their main game plan is just to take him out of the game.
Yep.
They don't care if they have 2, 3, 4 guys on him. It doesn't matter. They don't run the ball to his side ever.
Yep.
They're running to Herbig and Highsmith's side all the time. They're just completely trying to take him out of games, completely.
Yep.
And it's worked a few times.
It has.
So the Steelers have to figure out, how do we get that not to happen?
Well, let's say this, okay? There are two things that you suggested. Kaboli saying that, TJ might not want to move. Do you remember at the beginning of TJ's career, he was on the other side of the ball a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
and then it's Bud Dupree switched.
Yeah, him and Bud had to swap because Bud wasn't comfortable on the other side. So then TJ has just sat into that side and has pretty much been there since that point. I don't think it's a matter of TJ doesn't want to switch, especially if Tomlin is saying they're going to have to move him around. You know, it doesn't really matter what Kaboly's stance on it is. If Tomlin's saying they're going to have to move him around, they're going to move him around. You know, so they
got to blitz more too, Kevin. They have to blitz.
They don't
more.
blitz. They do not blitz. The Steelers do not blitz. They don't blitz up the middle. They do not bring a pass rush. I think against Joe Burrow, so when we beat Burrow last time, beginning of the season 2 years ago in Cincinnati, we start the season. And remember, I think he throws 5 interceptions in that game.
Yes.
We beat the shit out. We blitzed the shit out of him. We sacked his ass a lot of times. You get Joe Burrow dancing in the pocket. That's how you beat him. That's how you beat all elite quarterbacks. Pressure in their face. And so you're going to have to see that again on Sunday. And I think the Steelers, they know the game plan on these types of things. Like, it's not two idiots here talking about it. They definitely fucking know it. And if you're not going to get pressure out of Cam or TJ or Highsmith or Herbig or Ogunjobi, then you're going to have to blitz up the middle with a guy who has speed like Patrick Queen, with a guy like Peyton Wilson. You're going to have to see some of these guys blitz.
I would love to see them send Peyton Wilson more, dude.
With the speed.
Send him.
With the speed.
Yes.
Let him fucking stunt. Let him find the gap and fucking.
Is Highsmith back?
He could be back. He practiced. He said he's feeling good. He wants to play Sunday. So no word yet. We're recording obviously Wednesday at noon. So there's no word just yet on if Highsmith is going to play. But he's trending towards playing. If he doesn't play this week, I'd imagine he plays the following week against the Browns. But you know, that's what it's going to come down to, Jerry. The defense is going to have to at least pass rush, and the offense is going to have to finish in the red zone. If they don't do both of those things, I just don't think that they're going to win the game. And that's me being honest about it. I haven't said that once this year that they don't have a chance to win the game. But the Bengals, this is it for them. This is the Bengals season. This is backs against the wall. Lose this one and you could pretty much mail it in. Like, you're done. Their season is cooked. So the Steelers need to go out there and win. A, to stop a skid, stop all the rumors of a losing streak. But B, if you want to win the division, and you and I talked about this yesterday, you have to win Sunday. You're going to have to beat the Bengals on Sunday if you want to win the division, in my opinion.
You're in big trouble if you don't. Big trouble. Big trouble.
Agreed. So that's this game Sunday is massive. This game Sunday, you twist it any way you want to. I don't want to say it's a must win when you're only in week 13 of the season and you're 8-3. It's not like our backs are against the wall right now. But if you want to win the division, you want to host a home playoff game, it's a fucking must win.
Oh yeah, 100%. That is accurate. They drop this game, I don't see them winning the division. I really don't.
It's just tough. Ravens win a game against the Chargers on Monday night.
Ravens played well,
They did, man. They're a good football team. They're a good football team against everybody not named Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
You know, and so they're going to be a hard out. They play the Eagles this weekend. Obviously, big Birds fans, we're going to be this weekend. If the Eagles can get it done and the Steelers can win this game, we're in a very comfortable place, because I think, and I'm going to bet, I told you this yesterday, I'm going to bet a sizable wager on the Steelers to beat the Browns the following week. I think that they do beat the shit out of the Browns the second time through. You know, so
now, as far as gambling goes, this is just gambling. If the Steelers lose this game, you're gonna have a better spread.
Oh yeah, way better
on that
spread.
Browns game,
way
for
better
sure.
spread. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that though.
But
I think
but if
they beat them by 7+ next time we play them.
God, it went dark again.
Where are you at, your house?
No, the office.
Jerry Tom. Barstow is cutting budget right now. They won't even leave the lights on for the guy.
Yeah, I feel like in New York we didn't have any of these timed lighting things, and they just wasted so much money on electricity that they're trying to cut back.
That's smart budgeting. Smart budgeting. Jerry Don, you want to get into... Let's do predictions. Let's do predictions first. Let's take a look. Do the Steelers win on Sunday, in your opinion?
I think they do. I would say it's going to be like a 24-20 type of game.
24-20, which would put the point total at 44. I would say that the Steelers do win. I think it's going to have to be, they're going to have to score 27, though. I think it's going to have to be like 27-24. in order to see it happen. The over-under is 48. The Steelers are plus 136 on the money line. They're getting 3 points. To recap the betting from the Browns game, I took the Steelers to cover 3.5. I lost. I took Najee anytime touchdown scorer. I missed that as well. It's weird. I can't get a handle on what the Steelers are going to do with the running back position. Like some games, it's all Jalen Warren, very little Najee. Some games, it's all Najee, very little Jalen Warren. I have no idea what they're doing sometimes. I mean, Warren, I thought, played a great game, though. He's explosive. Whenever they do have holes, he is explosive. Whenever it's not 8 men in the box, the Steelers' offense does push the ball nicely on the ground. That's where, coming back to what we were saying earlier, I would like to see Arthur Smith fix some of the predictability of the offense. Jerry, last week against the Browns, you had over 36.5. That bet hit. And even given the elements early, I was out there tailgating. You're calling me. What's the update on the weather? It was rainy, snow, and windy as shit. And if you guys obviously watched the game, it's a blizzard. The fact that over hit was quite impressive. Impressive at 36.5. On the season, you're 7-7. I'm 5-8. Jerry Don, what are your 2 bets this week?
Oh, man. I'm going to take the Steelers at +3. I'm also going to take a George Pickens touchdown. Those are my 2 bets.
George Pickens gets in the end zone, and Jerry is taking the Steelers plus the 3.
Yeah. It's 3, right?
It's
not
3.
3.5?
Nope, it's 3. DraftKings Sportsbook has the Pittsburgh Steelers getting 3 points the way it stands on Wednesday. It could push, but, and if it pushes, I'll give you the 3.5. If Sunday at game time, I don't normally lock in my bets at all until about 10 minutes before kickoff because you never know what's going to happen. So I'll give you the 3, the 3.5 if it ultimately shifts to 3.5.
You think this is going to go over, Kev, this game?
I do, and that's my bet. Yeah. I'm going to take the over. So the over-under being at 48, I think that I look at it this way. The Steelers put up 28 against the Commanders, who are a better defense than the Bengals are. They could only hold the Commanders to 27, who, in my opinion, is not as good of an offense as the Bengals are. And so at 48, I feel like that's a team could hit 30 in this game. Either the Steelers or the Bengals or both of us could hit 30. This could very well be a shootout if it goes the way that we think it's going to go. I know a lot of people get skittish betting heavy overs on divisional games, especially AFC North divisional games. It's just, for me, Jerry, it's what we come back to. The Steelers have so many times been in the red zone and just can't finish. Eventually, dude, eventually they're going to finish in the red zone. You can't, it's like a law of averages here. Statistically, you can't just continue to go in the red zone and settle for threes. Eventually, something's going to click and go your way. It's going to get in the end zone. I think. Could you
imagine if they were even like 55% in the red zone?
Oh my God, we'd have a top 5 offense in football. Yeah. We'd have a top 5 offense in football. I might go back and log that and see how many more additional points. You'd say it's at least 4 points a game. It's at least 4 points a game that they're settling. They're in the red zone probably 3 or 4 times a game. They settle for field goals 2 of those times usually. Yeah. So if they get in 1 more time, even that's 4 more points a game. That puts the Steelers at an offense of about 27 points per game. And that's a phenomenal fucking number, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jerry Don, it is Thanksgiving week. Let's do something fun. Jerry Don, build out your Thanksgiving plate. You have all the spread is there. What is Jerry Don eating on Thanksgiving Day?
Ooh, I would do a filet mignon.
Oh, no turkey. Just bypass the turkey entirely.
Yeah, fuck the turkey. I do a filet mignon. I do stuffing. I do baked mac and cheese.
Oh.
The one, the good one.
I know.
Crispy, crunchy top.
I gotcha.
Baked mac and cheese, stuffing. I would also do a classic pumpkin pie, whipped cream, obviously, on it. And I am a fan of this. I know some people aren't. A green bean casserole.
Oh, I love a green bean casserole. I think that's honestly one of the most disrespected dishes on the Thanksgiving platter, in my opinion.
It is.
I would do. I'm a standard turkey guy. I do dark meat though. I like the greasier meat. I mean, let's be honest. If you're eating the white meat turkey, unless it is perfectly prepared, no disrespect to my mother or my grandmothers or my aunts or any of those women, it gets a little dry out there. So I like it a little greasier. Give me the dark meat. I'm starting with the dark meat. I also will do a little ham. My family is one that will do ham and turkey, so I'll do a little slice of ham on there. I like pickled eggs. I think pickled eggs are fucking phenomenal. You ever have a pickled egg,
Never
Jerry?
had one.
Oh my
No.
God, do you even know what it is?
No.
Oh, Jerry, pickled eggs. So you hard boil the eggs and then you put them in a jar of beets. Yeah, obviously purple beet juice and vinegar. It's like red wine vinegar. It's white vinegar. Sprinkle of sugar inside of there. And you let them sit in there and pickle for like 14, 20 days. And they're like a sour tart egg.
14 days? 20 days?
Oh, Jerry, I've had pickled eggs in my refrigerator for 6-7 months. My dad comes over one time last summer. We're drinking all day. We're smoking a little bit of the reefer. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning. Damn. We eat these pickled eggs that were in there 6-7 months. Phenomenal. The whole yolk at that point gets purple. You got to try those, Jerry. Very underrated food.
I got to try them.
So I like a pickled egg. I'm definitely doing stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, green bean casserole. I'm a pumpkin pie guy, but I'll also eat a cheesecake depending on how much I'm smoking that day. So I do enjoy a standard. What about baked beans? You ever had baked beans, Jerry?
Yeah, I had baked beans. Yeah, I'm having baked beans tonight, actually.
Big fan of baked beans. That's also another dish that I like. I like the sides. I'm a big sides guy.
Me too. I like the sides too. I'm not. I do a filet mignon just because I like the way my butcher prepares the filet mignon. So what he does is obviously it's a filet,
right?
But what he does is he gets the fat, and with butcher's twine, he puts a ring around the filet.
Yep.
So that's a nice touch that the butcher does, and I've never seen a butcher do that before. But I eat a filet mignon maybe once a week from him.
No shit.
Oh yeah,
that's a Chicago butcher. That's out where you're at.
Yeah, dude, he's great. Shout out Thuringer Meats, the goat. Such good shit there. I mean, they have everything. Bone marrow. I never had bone marrow before. It was really good.
Oh, bone marrow is good.
Yeah, I'm getting to try a lot of different things I've never had. Duck was very good from him. So I'm enjoying the food that this guy has.
Culture Jerry Don. Who would have thought? He comes from Jersey, the city.
Yeah.
He's not getting duck and filet mignon wrapped in fat over there, buddy.
No. It's been good.
Hey, we appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Jerry, is there anybody you want to wish injury on this week?
Yeah, I'll do, what should we do? Well, maybe Myles Garrett again? No, listen, listen, the Browns fans went crazy. I mean, we've all said stuff in the heat of the moment. Also, if you're a Browns fan, okay, or a Ravens fan, or any type of fan in the division, there's been games throughout your lifetime where you're like, maybe not online, maybe not publicly,
right?
But you've said to yourself, "I hope this fucking guy gets hurt."
Right.
But so, like, whatever. I said it. People got mad. They got their panties in a bunch. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? I don't get. Do you think I give a fuck? You were the one who had to inform me.
Yeah.
I don't fucking research this shit.
We're getting dragged on Twitter. It's Browns fans like, oh, look at these scumbag Steelers fans wishing evil on Myles Garrett, and they're like, you're a piece of shit, Kevin Adams. I'm like, whoa, motherfuckers! I'm the one that said, Jerry, don't do that. I don't like that in the universe. Now, Jerry's right though. Let's be all the way real about it. It's one thing that I do love about our show, Jerry, is because we aren't gonna sugarcoat shit. Now, we don't sit here and lie to each other about it. If you're a sports fan, even if you've never even spoke it out loud, I guarantee you've at least thought it. It'd be nice if that guy would just get hurt and you didn't have to fucking play him. Like, and if you haven't, then maybe I just see sports much differently than you. Everybody has done it. Now, I'm not out here wishing death on these fucking guys, and I did try and reel Jerry in. So when you're all trying to cancel me and cancel the show and cancel Jerry, scumbag Steelers fans, I mean, come on, man.
Listen,
it's a joke.
They've tried to cancel me. I'd say maybe, I don't know, throughout my media career. I'd say media personality, whatever you want to call it. I'd say they've been trying to cancel me probably 4 times now. I'm 4-0.
4-time cancel survivor.
So there you go.
I mean, it is what it is. We keep it real on the show. If you don't like it, we don't really give a shit. I don't, because we have a lot of people that do love this show for exactly what the show is. So we appreciate you. That is who we do the show for. We don't do it for the players. We don't do it for opposing fan bases. We do it for the people that feel exactly like Jerry and I do. And that is who I am thankful for this season, Jerry. This is year 3 of the Steel Here podcast. We finally carved out an incredible fan base, loyal every week, loyal listeners. listeners. The comments are always loaded, and we fucking love you guys for that. I am thankful for you this week. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Like, comment, subscribe. Continue to subscribe to the show. Share it where you find it. Jerry Don, anything you want to close with this week?
No, this game is a big game, man, and like I said, the first thing I said in the show, the Steelers have a choice now. They can bend and break, or they can say, you know what, fuck this. We're a real football team. We're gonna start fucking playing like it. Like also they can. This could be the game. That Browns game could be the game that the Steelers needed.
Yep.
Like, that could be the game where it gets the locker room so pissed off that, I mean, I don't know if you'll see this. I would love to, but they might just start beating up teams. I'd love to see that. Now, I don't see that with our schedule, but things like that happen, dude. Games like that, they could define a team, man. They could really see what is this team really about.
Jerry
So
Dunn.
I'm hoping they snap and they go crazy. 2005,
the Steelers lose 3 straight games. They sit at 7-2. They lose 3 straight games. The final game they lose is a 38-31 heartbreaker to the Bengals on the road. Okay, so they drop to 7-5. Everybody knows the rest of the story. They have to reel off 4 in a row to get to 11-5 to make the playoffs. They win the wild card round in Cincy. They win the divisional round in Indy. They go to the AFC Championship game in Denver. They hoist the Super Bowl ultimately in Detroit over the Seahawks.
Yep.
You sometimes have to face adversity, and you're going to over the course of an NFL season. And I think that game Thursday night, as much as I got pissed off and say I'm tired of having to have these fucking games that wake the team up, every great team has faced an L that they shouldn't have had during a season if they won a Super Bowl. And
look at the Patriots that season, undefeated. They lose in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, I'd rather get my shit out the way, middle of the season around here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, listen, I will say this. I still won't be out on the Steelers if we lose this game. Now, will my tone change? Yeah, probably a little bit for sure. But is it going to break me to the point where I'm going to say this team is dead? I don't think so.
At 8-4, even they're not dead. I don't want to go to 8-4. I don't even want to give a pass.
I don't.
But at 8-4, they're not dead because they're gonna beat the shit out of the Browns. Take it to the bank, book it. I don't give a shit. Take it to the bank. They're beating the Browns. So at worst case, they're getting to 9-4, and that's when it gets interesting. Then you have 3 games in 10 days. Then you have Eagles. Then you have Ravens. Then you have Chiefs. Then you finish the season with the Bengals at home, final game of the season. Yeah. So win the next 2, get to 10-3. Let's go through the fucking gauntlet. But it starts Sunday, Jerry Don. The boys got to get it done. I think they'll get it done. You think they'll get it done. Jesus, Jerry, you're having the worst tech issues of the season here. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Continue to share the show. We will see you here. I am going to go to the game on Sunday, so I'll be in Cincinnati. And then I'm going hunting Monday. So Jerry and I might not be able to record until Monday, maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, Monday evening. So we'll get an episode out to you either Monday evening or Tuesday morning at the latest. Recap the game, and we'll see you guys there.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Later, Jerry.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.